Simply Watching TV, and tonight we are talking about Girlfriends, Season 1, Episode 15. Yes. Old dog. So let's just get right into it. We open up with Joan and Sean, and they're on another date at her house. How come we've never been to his house? What does his place look like? Was that supposed to be something that we paid attention to? We've never seen what Sean's house looks like. So anyway, they're on a date at her house, and they're kind of just hinting at like this 3-month rule that she has about like not having sex with a guy until the 3-month mark. And I don't understand why she keeps telling people about this 3-month rule. Like, if you're gonna do the 3-month rule, like, just do it, but like don't tell them like, oh, at the 3-month mark that's when we're gonna have sex. Like, how do we know they're not just hanging in there just so they can get past the 3-month mark, have sex with you, and then bounce? I mean, it sounds like a waste of time to a lot of other people, then a lot of people like to waste their time. Joan is considering breaking her 3-month rule for Sean. Is this not the same guy that we had to hit over the head with a rock and drag him back to our cave so he could ask us out? Is that not the same guy? We are jeopardizing and compromising our 3-month rule for that guy? Okay, girl. I mean, if you're ready, you're ready. Like, it is what it is. But like, don't make a big thing about it. Like, just do it. So she's talking to the girlfriends, of course. Like, who cares about their opinion? Maya and Darnell want to have another baby. Now, I will say, this does lead us to discussing medical issues with Black women within the Black community that were not usually talked about. I mean, of course, now everybody's talking about health issues all over the place, but back then we were not talking about health issues like that and seeing it on TV. So kudos to them for displaying that, showing Black gynecologists and all that good stuff. Sean, being a recovering sex addict, definitely like made it seem like he was gonna be a whiz in the bedroom. Like he was gonna dominate the bedroom. Like that was gonna be his thing. Because, right? Like, if you are or if you're addicted to something, you have to like practice it a lot. Like that has to be your thing. So for you to not be good at it, it's kind of a scam. Like, is it like, for what? Back to Maya and, you know, her health issues with Darnell. But why would Tony, Lynn, and Joan know about how to tell a Black man that his sperm count is low? They don't even have Black men. Like, they don't even have Black men, nor do they have Black kids, nor do they have kids. So when do you think they've ever come into that predicament? Like, they've never had that scenario happen a day in their lives. How would they know how to tell somebody that their sperm count is low? Low-key, I think Maya was like fishing around for resources. Like, she talked to Joan about it. Obviously, I get venting to your girlfriends, or like just kind of asking them what do they think, I guess. But I low-key, just because Maya is just a crafty one to me, I think she was fishing around for resources. Like, Maya didn't have the best health insurance. She wasn't too educated on everything that was going on with her health-wise. And then voila, you know, like, you and Tony are not even friends, but here she is giving you the number to her very expensive Black gynecologist and taking you to the appointment. Like, okay, now Tony is starting to look like a friend. This is back the same girl that you didn't like, and you only hung around because she was friends with Joan. But now y'all are going to the doctor's office together? She was fishing for resources. Okay, Sean is just bad in bed. We said it. Sean is bad in bed, and that was not expected because Sean is what? A recovering sex addict. You guys definitely, if you guys are not, if y'all like this show and y'all want to understand more, talk to people who are also fans of this show, I highly suggest logging on to that Reddit Girlfriends TV show group chat, whatever it is, chat, room, whatever, because everything is just discussed. Okay, like, I was on it and I asked the question, who is the worst boyfriend? Now, I'm not going to get into the full conversation because we have not been through all of the boyfriends. I think I'm going to make a separate video for that once we've covered all or majority of the boyfriends so that we can have a full conversation about it. But like, what do I want to say? Sean was one of, obviously, the people that I used for who was Joan's worst boyfriend. Because, baby, you're a recovering sex addict. You try to throw my baggage, and really, again, just like I said in the last video, my baggage, the only baggage that you're talking about is me having this 3-month rule that you don't agree with. So technically, that's not really baggage, just because you don't agree with it. There's a lot of people out here who have a rule similar to that. You don't agree with it, that's on you. But that's not necessarily my baggage. Maybe it could be tied to some baggage. But are you a therapist? Okay. So how are you calling me out for my baggage when you're the recovering sex addict? And then after all of that, you're not even good in bed. How you like them apples? You can't even satisfy people in your field of expertise, because you are the recovering sex addict. But you can't even satisfy in your field of expertise. You're not even an expert. Sex addict / make love virgin. That's a lot. Like, that is a lot. Oh my God. I've never been to your house. You accuse me of having all this baggage. You are a sex addict / make love virgin. Now I have to teach you things. This is a lot. Joan is worrying about dispelling the myth about controlling Black women, but for once out of I don't know how many times I'm gonna agree with her, I agree with Maya. Who cares about that? Do you want to have a great sex life or what? Like, what? Why are we worried about dispelling the? First of all, I think that is utterly ridiculous. So men want to be bad in bed, but then they also want to have an attitude about being taught about how to be better. That's something that they also want to do. And then now I'm controlling. Now I'm getting the controlling title because I'm telling you what I like and I would like for you to do that. Now I'm controlling. Now I got to worry about that too. Joan, please. Also, this is not just a Black thing. I don't know if I've covered this episode yet in Sex and the City, but this similar thing happened in Sex and the City. And I'll just say that men do not like to be taught. Like sometimes, but it's rare. And it just really depends on like how they're gonna take it. It really does depend, but they just don't. Why is Niecy here? Niecy from Moesha. Why? I get a random crossover episode, but no, let me take that back. I get a crossover episode. A random crossover episode? No. Somebody being somebody's cousin that we knew about? Sure. Somebody working with this person and then they kind of explain why it's a crossover? Great. But some random character from another show that we are assumed to have seen before? What if I never watched Moesha? This whole part of the show where Niecy is sitting in A47 butting into Joan's business about how to tell Sean that he's bad in bed, it would be all for nothing if I don't know Niecy from Moesha. And even then, I'm still confused as to why she's here and why she's relevant and why she just butt into Joan's business unprovoked without being asked. This is crazy. But I do, it now that I'm talking about it, it does remind me that Maya was in an episode of Moesha, but don't ask me too much about that because that was like when Dorian was on the show, and I can barely stomach the episodes with Dorian. Everybody knows, sorry not to go down a Moesha rabbit hole while I'm talking about girlfriends, but Dorian was the beginning and end of the downfall of Moesha. I can't do it. I couldn't do the family drama. I couldn't do every 5 seconds Dorian is in trouble about something. It was just ridiculous. Later, if I want to do and review that show, maybe we can get into it, but So I vaguely remember Maya being on that episode. I don't know what she was doing there. I don't know why, but I guess if she crossed over there, then I guess they was like, okay, you can cross over here. But then it didn't add anything to the storyline. It didn't add anything to that. And I even rewatched it. Maybe not like this last time when I was watching it for this video, but I rewatched it just one time, like watching it in leisure, just to make sure that I was like not forgetting anything and not missing the point why she was there. And I didn't get it. She was in 847. The ketchup smelled funny. She was butting in Joan's business. She had a time where she had to tell her boyfriend that he was bad in bed. Joan was confused because she looked young. She is. And then they moved on. And then Niecy never told her, like, what she had to, like, why are you here? I applaud Joan for letting Sean know that you're pretty terrible. She didn't say it in those words, but that's basically what she meant. You're pretty terrible, and I don't want to keep having bad sex. So what are we going to do about it? And I will take it a step further. I applaud him for being open about it. I mean, of course, he was offended at first, but once he got past that, he was open to learning about it. And apparently, they're having fantastical relations after that. So, you know, that's good for them. And that's it. This was a pretty light episode. So we'll see where we are next week.